Go on then.
Well, don't show my face in it then. Just aim it like you're gonna normally record something, and then I'll just be like, hi guys. Hi guys.
This is so good.
Hi guys. Welcome to today's video. Oh, shit.
You done?
Oh, I don't know. I might interrupt randomly midway through the video, but...
Right. Anyway, so hi guys. In today's video, I'm building some 3-piece NTM Pista wheels. So before I got the LMs, I managed to pick up a set of these because I thought they were pretty cool. They come up for a fairly reasonable price and I just couldn't resist. So they were finished in this horrible baby vomit gold. Not baby vomit, but baby poo. And according to the seller, the only issue they had was a bent lip. So that's definitely bent and beyond repair. So I thought, okay, fine. If I can get a replacement lip, I can just rebuild them and have a decent set of wheels. So I ordered a replacement lip and it turned up. And then I thought I'll drop them off to my buddy's wheel refurbishing company to change the color of the centers because the centers were the same gold and that's not something I was willing to live with. So I've had them done in this light grey color, which I really quite like. It's sort of like a ferret grey, and I think they'll suit the car fairly well. And I was going to have the barrels done in the same color. So he'd taken them apart, had the centers done, and then he rings me up and says, oh, by the way, did you know that 2 of your barrels are cracked? And I said, no, I had no idea, but thanks for letting me know. And as you can see, they have 1 crack each. And then he proceeded to tell me that the other 2 barrels are bent. And because they are rolled, and they've got like a rolled lip on them rather than cast, he doesn't know how to straighten them, and he doesn't know anyone that can straighten them and guarantee that they'll remain straight and they'll remain structurally sound. So he said if you want these wheels, then you're going to need 4 new barrels essentially. So at this point I thought, well, that's going to get a little bit expensive, and he honestly told me to just cut my losses and then sell them on. And unfortunately, now knowing the issues with the barrels, I couldn't just sell them on and pretend that I don't know anything to try and recoup what I paid for them. And I wasn't willing to give them away at scrap money. So I've made the wise decision and ordered 4 brand new barrels for them. So there you go, 4 new barrels turned up. The barrels are 8.25 and 8.75. So the final wheel, when they're built up, the fronts are going to be 10.5J and the rears are going to be 11J. And this is the replacement lip. And these are the other 3 lips, which didn't need replacing, but they needed repolishing. However, because I haven't got time or patience and I hate cleaning and polishing stuff, I'm just going to put them on as they are, and then that will age and hopefully it'll be similar to what these other 3 look like. So a set that was meant to cost me about £1,700 now ended up costing me close to £3,000. But once you're in, and I think once they're built and I know that they're all straight, no cracks, in decent condition, I know the value of them will be similar to what they will cost me in the end. So if I wanted to sell them on in the near future, I could advertise them and not lose sleep over them, just knowing that whoever buys them are going to buy a decent set of wheels, and you know, they're not going to have to deal with the trouble that I'm going through. I also messaged the guy who I bought these wheels from, and I told him essentially what happened. I didn't blame him for anything because he told me he bought them from a friend and the only reason he didn't proceed with rebuilding them was because they didn't fit over his big brakes, which is believable because I sold my Enkei NTO3Rs for the same reason. So I said to him, look, I'm not accusing you of anything, but this is the situation, this is what's happened, I bought the wheels off you. If somebody told me the same, I would have done something about it. There's no way I can definitively say that you knew or you didn't know about the condition of the wheels and the fact that 4 barrels needed replacing, but this is the situation I'm in. So take it as you may, this is the situation, and I've not heard from him since. So yeah, I just think that you've got to be careful, especially if you're spending quite a significant amount of cash on a set of second-hand wheels. Just make sure you check them properly. And the reason why I didn't check them was because the guy who was selling them is part of the track community. He goes to Germany to Nürburgring, he tracks an F80 or F82, and he seemed like a trustworthy person within the community, but it just goes to show. So yeah, next steps, try and get them built up, silicon them, and then next week get some tyres on them, chuck them on the car, and off to Nürburgring. Right, so here you go, all complete. I was hoping to record the entire process of me assembling each wheel, but it was taking way too long, a lot longer than I expected. And I faced a few issues along the way. As you can see here, a couple of bolts are missing. So it turns out the powder coat is quite thick, so the center is really quite tight in the lip and in the barrel, but the bolts pull it down fine. However, there was some powder coat debris in the threads. So I've managed to cross-thread 2 bolts and snap them. Unfortunately, I should have them here somewhere. And then I ended up having to drill them out. Yeah. But anyway, I used my tap and die set to recut new threads in the center faces, and they've turned out absolutely fine. I'm not sure if you can see that on the video, but the thread is cleaned up nicely on that one and on that one. So I've ordered some replacement bolts, and I'll reuse the existing nuts. And yeah, hopefully they're nice and straight now. I can throw some tyres on them. I'm not sure what tyres to put on them. I've got a set of Dunlops or a set of Michelin Cup 2s, so I'm still yet to decide. We've also had to silicone them to seal the two faces together, or the two parts of the barrel essentially, the lip and the barrel. And now that's dried, I'm hoping that's going to be sufficient to seal and it's not going to leak, but I guess we'll find out next once the tyres are mounted. So yeah. So just had the tyres fitted, ended up transferring the Michelin Cup 2s from the RIs, and pretty pleased with the fitment. Front and the two rears, and the other front is somewhere, probably in the boot. But anyway, looks pretty good. And the rears. Now it's just a matter of working out how much spacers they're going to need, if any, and to make sure that they clear the suspension and clear the brakes. So coming up, getting them fitted and bleeding the brake fluid because I'm currently doing ring prep. So yeah, brake fluid, get the wheels put on, do the other side, take the LMs off. They're the nice road wheels. I'll get them put back on once we're back from the ring. And yeah, a few other bits and pieces to do. Righty then, so here you go. Wheels fitted, everything set up the way it's supposed to be. And I've got to say, I am super happy with the fitment. They didn't need any spacers at all, so literally just went straight on. There is about 5 or 6 mil clearance between the inner bit of the wheel and the coilover. So no spacers needed there, so that's fine. The front fitment is spot on, couldn't really have hoped for better. And the same goes for the back, no spacer, and it fits absolutely perfectly. I've not tweaked the ride height, it was set up when the alignment was done, and I'm super happy with it. The sill of the car in relation to the ground is fairly level. The front end's got slightly more arch clearance, which is completely normal to obviously allow for the wheels to turn. But the way the car is set up now, I think it looks great. It doesn't look too low and it feels great. The handling is absolutely on point, and it's actually usable. It's not too impractical, it's not too low. The splitter does hang quite low, so you've got to be careful naturally, but because it slightly slants upwards, it actually clears everything, and because it's got the splitter guard as well, I'm not worried about smashing it even if I do scrape on something. So here we are. Wheels actually turned out perfectly straight. I asked the tyre shop to spin them before mounting the tyres, and they're absolutely spot on. So I think they took anywhere between sort of 15 and 20 grams to balance them out once the tyres were fitted. No side to side movement, no buckles, no flat spots or anything. So really happy with it. I mean, obviously you'd expect it since the barrels are new, but still it's nice to check. So yeah, all looks really good. There's just about enough clearance to the front brakes. So these are 380s stop techs, and as you can see, it's close, but it clears. Couldn't really tell you how much clearance there is, but there's just about enough for it not to catch. So hopefully once the brakes get really hot, I'm not going to run into issues where everything expands and potentially gets into a touch condition with the inner barrel. But I guess we'll find out next weekend once we're out on track. So all the hardware's fine. The couple of bolts which I ended up snapping, I replaced with what I had, and they are a little bit too short, so I couldn't get the nuts on from the other side. So I torqued them up when I inserted them from the other end. So these are torqued to 33 Newton meters, and the idea is to put the nut on and torque that to 28 as well. But the nut can't go on because there's not enough threads protruding, so I've ordered some longer ones. So this bolt and that bolt I'll replace, hopefully in a couple of days' time. But other than that, that's it. Got a couple more little things to do to the car. I'm going to fit a performance steering wheel, which I'm not going to cover in this episode. I'm going to probably do one specifically dedicated to installing the V2 steering wheel with the shift lights and the little display in the middle, because having had a look at DIYs, there's a couple of threads online, but there's no videos about how to install the V2 steering wheel, so yeah, I think it's a good idea to release one. So that's coming up next week potentially, but that's it. Oh, and also I've got a massive window sticker at the front. I didn't want a huge one or particularly wide one, so it's only 120mm, and I just wanted something that's going to have the channel's name on it to match the side window stickers. But that's probably as far as I'm willing to go. I think that's, as far as the look of the car is concerned, that's pretty much is done. So the old wheels, the RIs, I finally received the replacement RI wheel to the one that was damaged in the crash. It finally arrived. So I ordered it from a company called RC Crew in Singapore, and they placed an order with BBS, and then eventually it turned up at my house. So all in all, the wheel ended up costing me about £800 to order and about £200 in import tax. So all in all, about £1,000 to replace this wheel. And as you can see, this one is unsavable, sadly, but it will make a nice coffee table. The really nice thing about this wheel is that they actually have special coating on these beads, on the inner and outer bead, and it's really quite rough, and this is to actually stop the tyre from rotating about the rim. So really, really nice, cool touch. If you guys follow performance cars and know anything about tyre rotating about the rim, I think one of the very severe cases was the ZL1 Camaro. When it got released and they were testing at the Nürburgring, they had a really massive issue with the tyre rotating on the rim because of the weight of the car and how sticky the tyres were and how good the brakes were. This was the weak point. So after that, the wheel manufacturers had decided it's a good idea to implement countermeasures to stop the tyre from rotating. So I think that's pretty nice and neat touch. This wheel I'm just going to get repainted, and I'm going to try and get the wheel refurb company to try and save these. So it's had a little knock obviously when the crash has happened, but it's not bent, and it's just cosmetic. So I think I'm going to just have this one repainted and potentially have just the face redone, and yeah, that should be good. So that's going to be another set of wheels for the car at some point when I decide to put them on. Too many sets of wheels at the moment. So I've got the Pistas, we've got the LMs, we've got the RIs, I've got the 513Ms, the black M Performance wheels, the M2 CS Racing wheels, and I'm pretty sure I've got something else somewhere, but I've lost count now. So I might need to sell a few sets, we'll see. But as far as the Pistas are concerned, I think that's a really, really good look, and I'm super happy with it. So as always, thanks for watching, and see you again in the next one.